What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're an indie artist looking for an album review and some promo, you can hit up Luke at redmattersite.com. And what I have for you guys and girls today is my review for Wale's new album, The Album About Nothing. A lot of people have been waiting for this album, especially because of Jerry Seinfeld's involvement. And anyone familiar with Wale knows that two of his previous mixtapes, the mixtape About Nothing and More About Nothing, both made use of clips from the show Seinfeld. But what's interesting about this album is that it not only uses clips from the show, it also has Jerry Seinfeld on here acting as a narrator and setting up the themes on some of these songs. Now, Wale also recently dropped the Festivus EP, which gets its name from the Costanza holiday. But his last studio album, The Gifted, dropped in 2013 and got a lot of mixed reviews. I just thought it was alright. But enough about all that, let's get into this new album of his and then hit me up in the comments section to let me know what you think about Wale and his music. So the album begins with Jerry and Wale preparing to record on the intro, called The Intro About Nothing. The beat works its way in on some piano before the percussion and strings kick in, and then the song swings into full force as a choir comes into effect. And this style of intro seems to be very common these days. It kind of reminds me of Logic's intro on his Under Pressure album. This intro sets up the general theme for the album, as Wale says that people don't care nothing about albums, so that's exactly what he's going to give them, an album about nothing. And that ties into Jerry Seinfeld's involvement, because the show Seinfeld was often referred to as the show about nothing. Also, you might notice that all of the tracks on here begin with the, and that's also a nod to Seinfeld, as every episode of Seinfeld starts with the, except for I think it was one episode near the beginning. I was just looking it up on Wikipedia to be sure. But as you could probably guess, this album isn't actually about nothing. The song, The Helium Balloon, produced by DJ Dahi, has a cool concept about how artists can lift people up like a helium balloon. And the beat starts with some simple bass guitar before turning into some airy production with some 808s and a bridge from Magazine. And the following track, The White Shoes, delivers a very positive message about how people are always going to judge you no matter what you do, but you'll still be alright and you should still be positive. It's a feel-good track with some boom-bap drums and light keyboard keys. But Wale's singing might not be for everybody. I know that I myself did not like it at all. But luckily, in some spots, he gets some help from some other singers who help him blend and harmonize the vocals. Overall, it's still a good track though, and I like the mellow vibe. Keeping with the topic of staying positive despite the bullshit, The Middle Finger has a great intro from Jerry Seinfeld, where he says that you may as well just let people talk their smack because they don't believe half of the shit that they say anyway. The hook on this track has Wale crooning, "Fuck you, leave me alone," and lyrics about how Wale once wanted to quit rap because of all the drama that comes with it. He also touches on other personal issues, like how he and his girl had to deal with going through a miscarriage, and how he avoids therapy by choosing to self-medicate with the syrup and loud. But for real, Jerry Seinfeld drops gems all over this album, like on the track The Success, where he says that success can be the enemy because sometimes it makes you too comfortable. Then, on The Matrimony, which features Usher, he literally made me laugh out loud when he was comparing marriage to a roller coaster. If you don't like softer rap R&B tracks, you probably won't like The Matrimony. But if you get down with R&B, this is a nice jam. On here, Wale raps about his troubles, trials, and tribulations with relationships, and I think when Wale touches on that type of topic, that's when he's at his best. And to this day, even after hearing this album, his old track, the breakup song, is still my favorite Wale song. It just has such a cold beat, and the content is real relatable for anybody who went through a breakup that kind of messed with them a little bit. And Wale touches on love and the ladies on other tracks on here as well, like On the Bloom, where he uses a lot of wordplay about flowers as a way of talking about a beautiful lady. And this is one of my favorite songs on the album, because the beat has so much personality to it, and it sounds like it would sound great live because of how the instruments groove together. Also, Stokely Williams from the classic group Mint Condition does a great job blowing out the vocals on here. Then, on the body, we get another rap and R&B jam where Jeremiah sings that the girl has a body like a Benz, and Wale goes into his verses making comparisons between a girl and a car, which to me at this point is kind of played out. I'm kind of tired of these songs where they compare a girl to a car or a car to a girl, but maybe that's just me. They also borrow some lines from R. Kelly's track, You Remind Me of Something, when they spit that the girl reminds them of their Jeep. But all in all, this is just kind of a typical R&B rap jam. But one of the standout relationship-based tracks on here is The Need to Know. This one starts off with the classic scene from Seinfeld where Jerry and Elaine are trying to figure out how to have sex without ruining their friendship. And the idea of friends with benefits is what this track is all about, as Wale spits that platonic relationships are for TV shows. This one features SZA, who hums the melody from Music's song Just Friends throughout this track, and then she also takes the hook from that song for the hook on this song. Things take a little bit of a darker tone though on the song The Girls on Drugs, where Wale raps about girls on drugs. This one samples from Janet Jackson's track We Go Deep, and fun fact, that one used to make me feel some type of way back when I was a teenager. But enough about my teenage lust. The song The Pessimist features J. Cole singing about how he has trouble with some of his friends and no gas money, among other problems. And Wale spits about some of the things that make him feel hopeless and pessimistic. Stuff like celebrity worship, flaws in the judicial system, and the way that race can have an impact and play a factor when it comes to certain situations. So at the end of the day, this is a pretty solid album. Wale's content is great because he gets personal and honest without really caring what other people think, and I can always respect that from an artist, especially when they have some interesting things to say. So I give this album a 3.5 out of 5. I don't really like Wale's vocals much though, especially when he sings, and even though his lyrics and his flow are just fine, I find that his delivery can be a little bit irritating. It's like he forces this little Tupac inflection sometimes. And there are also some filler tracks on here, including the ones that I didn't mention. The One Time in Houston just felt like a screwy Drake song to me. I wasn't feeling the hook or the flows on The Glass Egg. And the God Smile wasn't awful, it just didn't really hit me too hard. But it might be alright for some late night creepin' music. But that's just what I thought about Wale's new album. Hit me up in the comments section to let me know what you think. And as usual, do all that other good YouTube and social media stuff, where you like my videos, you share them, you follow me on Twitter, you retweet the videos, and you especially subscribe to my channel. We just cracked 3,000 subscribers, so thank you very much. Keep it up, guys. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you next time.